Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Day 29. So, it's great to see all of you. So, today, before we start, settle in, take a small, deep breathe in, count for four, and exhale for six. Again, take one more deep breathe in and exhale. So today we arrive at something many people have been searching for without even realizing it. Any guesses? It's mind body emotion alignment. We have been touching everything, in an order from day one, right? And we come to today's session talking about what alignment feels like, not motivational alignment, not social media perfection, real internal alignment, the kind your mind, your emotions, your body, your decisions stop pulling in different directions. We often hear, like in Hindi, we often hear sometimes people say, मुझे लग रहा है मुझे सारी जगह से खींचा जा रहा है. Have you heard somebody talking like this? Yes, I have. And honestly, many people do not realize how exhausting this inner conflict actually is until they finally experience internal alignment. That's why I invite you, come today, settle in gently. Day 29, just one more after this. And I want to give you something different, not more information, a brilliant experience. So tonight, you stop learning about alignment. Instead, you start feeling it. And that feeling when you say yes to something and your entire body tightens, the whole body tightens. When, say, the word comes out of your mouth and something in your chest or your stomach quietly says, that is not true. That is not what I actually want. Or, say, when you walk into a situation, really, you walk into the situations where that looks fine on paper outside, the right job, the right relationship, the right decision by every logical measure, and still you feel nothing. That flat, completely flat feeling. Like, you're wearing someone else's life and leading it. That feeling, that quiet wrongness in the body has a name, and it is called misalignment. And it is your mind, your body, your emotions speaking three completely different languages at the same time. Let's let's take a funny example. So you just take, uh, probably start watching a movie, you have a different language, you start reading the subtitle at the same time someone else is watching something extremely loud in the phone, and then some external sound that comes from the outside. Too many noises, too much chaotic. Will you be able to hear any of them? No, right? That's what our mind, body, emotions feel when it is not aligned. And then there is the other feeling, the one that is rarer, the one you maybe haven't felt in a long time, or have felt only in, say, some glimpse. Like when you say something and it lands in the room and it also lands in you at the same time. When you make a decision and there is no second guessing, no background anxiety, no performing, just a deep, quiet knowing that, yes, go for it. This is right. This is mine. This is meant for me. When your body, your mind, and your emotions are not contradicting each other, however, moving together like one thing, that is alignment. That is not a spiritual concept or a wellness buzzword. It is a measurable neurological, physiological state. And today I'm going to show you exactly what it is, why most people rarely feel it, and how to access it on purpose. So, I want to hear from you. Tell me in the comments, when was the last time you felt genuinely aligned? That feeling of, yes, this is correct, this is right, this is mine. Even briefly, just drop it in the message, in the comment section below. Anything. Again, yes, hi, people are coming in. Hello, Mr. Singh. Hi, Daniel. If you feel free, just drop in that message when you actually genuinely feel that alignment. And again, for those who are joining me for the first time, today is day 29. Hi, I'm Ishita Bakchi. I'm a life coach specializing in emotional intelligence, a counseling psychologist, a DMIT counselor, and I also work with healing practices like pranic, Reiki, and crystal. And what my work really focuses on precisely what we are talking about now, the understanding that real well being, real healing, real freedom is not possible when we work with the mind alone, or the body alone, or the emotional layer alone. It only becomes possible when all three are working in the same direction, speaking the same language, and moving as one. That coherence, that alignment across all three layers is what I help people build. And today you are going to feel what it actually is. So, as we say, today is day 29, and we just have one session left tomorrow. And everything we have covered across these 4 weeks has been moving toward the experience we are going to have today. Because alignment is not an idea, it is not a goal you set, it is not something you achieve, it is something you feel deep inside in your body in real time. And once you have felt it, truly, fully felt it, you will always know when you have drifted away from it, and you will always know how to return. That's the beauty of it. So, with this, I again want before lockdown, before marriage. Okay. I just got people were little hesitant to share that one word. And I think now they start, probably in day 29, they start getting little free to share their thoughts, their inner world here. So, someone is saying that, yes, before marriage, it felt like genuinely aligned, probably before lockdown. It felt it was completely peaceful. Yes, a lot of things happens, but change is the constant, right? And there are certain situations which is inevitable, which we cannot have a control of. So good that you're opening up now. So I want today I want to share a real case style experience. Like I want to share something with you is not like a composite that has I have been sharing it for 2 3 days, or a say counseling pattern that probably while studying or while uh, going through the case we come across. It is the documented story of a real scientist and the discovery she made that changed the entire field of mind body medicine. Her name is Candace Pert. She was a neuropharmacologist at the National Institutes of Health in America, one of the most rigorous scientific institutions in the world. So, in the 1970s, Dr. Pert co discovered the opiate receptor, that is, the mechanism by which the brain processes both pain and pleasure. So it was a landmark discovery. She was nominated for the Nobel Prize, and then in a decision that became one of the most talked about moments in neuroscience history. The Nobel Committee awarded the prize to her supervisor, not to her, despite her being the primary researcher on the discovery. She spent years in professional and personal turmoil following that decision. In her memoir, Molecules of Emotion, she documents how that period of profound misalignment between what she knew to be true, what her body was telling her, and what she was publicly presenting manifested as chronic physical illness, relational breakdown, and a deep disconnection from her own scientific passion. The work that eventually brought her back was not more achievement or recognition. It was learning through her own research that the body and emotions were not separate from the mind, that they were in fact the same system speaking constantly to each other, and that her body had been telling her the truth for years before her conscious mind was willing to listen. What Perth discovered through years of research that began with that painful misalignment was something that sounds simple, yet it is revolutionary. Emotions are not just feelings, they are molecules, neuropeptides, biochemical messengers that travel through every system of the body, not just the brain. Your gut has receptors for emotional molecules. Your immune system does. Your heart does. Every major organ in your body is literally listening to your emotional state in real time. Which means when your mind is saying one thing, your emotions are feeling another, and your body is receiving a completely different signal. There is no neutral. There is no, I will just override this and carry on. Every cell in your body is receiving the message of that conflict. So, misalignment is not just an uncomfortable feeling, it is a whole body physiological event. And alignment, when your mind, body, and emotions are finally speaking the same language, is equally whole body, equally physiologically, measurably different from anything else your body experiences. So Dr. Bird spent the second half of her career documenting exactly what that alignment looks like in the body and how to create it intentionally. And today, that is exactly what we do. So, now another question to you. Has your body ever told you something was wrong before your mind admitted it? Like, for an example, you are taking a decision to trust a person. However, you are constantly getting a signal, like from your body, some way in your body is referring that no, I shouldn't trust that person. Something like that. Maybe you are accepting an offer, whether it's a job offer or something. However, your body, any part of your body is suddenly getting or giving you that signal that no, probably you might look for some other opportunities as well. And that signal comes like a physical signal, tightness, nausea, fatigue, that turned out to be your body speaking a truth you weren't ready to hear. That is your body's intelligence. Today, we learn to listen to it on purpose, not just in crisis. Because that's the challenge. We often, try to hear the signals when probably the situation is out of our control. That's why I said the crisis situation, when it's almost too late, like, when things have gone beyond your control and all that. So here we are going to learn to listen to it on purpose before big event. So let us again talk about the core teaching, the science of alignment. So here we have three pillars to it: heart math coherence research, Damasio's somatic marker hypothesis, and the neuroscience of values based living and congruence. So let us understand the part one, that is the heart brain coherence, when alignment becomes measurable. So, the most rigorous scientific evidence for what alignment actually looks and feels like comes from HeartMath Institute in California and their decades of research on what they call heart brain coherence. So, this institute research, led by Dr. Rollin McCratty, demonstrated through biofeedback studies that the heart communicates with the brain more than the brain communicates with the heart. I repeat, heart communicates with the brain more than the brain communicates with the heart, sending more signals upward than it receives. When an individual is in a state of emotional coherence, when their emotional experience, cognitive state, and physiological state are aligned, the heart's rhythm becomes smooth, ordered, and sine wave like. This state is measurable as high heart rate variability coherence. And this is associated with enhanced cognitive function, improved emotional regulation, increased intuitive access, reduced cortisol, and a felt sense described consistently by research subjects as complete clarity, rightness, and knowing. When the same individual is in an emotional conflict, experience one, they're having experiencing one thing, thinking another, and physically holding tension against both. The heart rhythm becomes jagged, incoherent, and erratic. This incoherence measurably impairs the decision making, increases anxiety, and creates physical experience of disease. So, alignment here is not metaphorical. It is a measurable physiological state with a distinct neurological signature. This is the science behind what you already know in your body. When something feels right, deeply, quietly right, your heart rhythm is literally smoother. Your brain is receiving a different signal from your heart. Your cortisol is lower, your intuition is cleaner. You just let us think of a personal experience. Don't share it, but just recall maybe one something in the recent past. Something has happened, and probably we didn't put much of your analysis then anyways, like uh, there has been, but we didn't put an attention to it because nobody stops working or doing their job. Brain will do their job, heart will is going to do their job. So just imagine something has happened, and uh, you spoke to someone in your family whom you trust, saying that, you know I was feeling something inside, it's not right. So in Hindi we say na, मेरा दिल ये काम करने के लिए नहीं मान रहा है. I don't want to do this. I didn't wanted to do this because we are thinking about the experience, right? और फिर क्या हो जाता है, when we have that situation already happened, then we realized we didn't attain that signal which my heart was giving to me, right? That's why we say, when you are misaligned, living a life that contradicts what you actually feel or value, your heart rhythm is jagged. Your nervous system is working against itself. Your body is absorbing that conflict every single day. That's why I say that alignment is not a feeling you wait to stumble in. It is a physiological state you can learn to create deliberately, consistently, measurably. And once you know what it feels like in your body, you can always find your way back to it. Yes, it is possible. Then, part two of it, somatic markers. Your body's intelligence has been trying to guide you all along. So, I think we touched upon this earlier also, that Dr. Antonio Damasios, that is, he was a neuroscientist at University of Southern California. He made a discovery in 1990s that turned the relationship between reason and emotion completely upside down. So, his landmark research on patients with damage to the ventromedial prefrontal cortex, an area critical for integrating emotional signals with decision making, found something counterintuitive. These patients retained full intellectual functions, normal IQ, and intact reasoning ability. However, they became catastrophically incapable of making good decisions. Without the ability to access and process the body's emotional signals, what Damasio called somatic markers, they could reason endlessly, however, could not decide well. His conclusion, published in Descartes' Error, was revolutionary here. The emotion is not the enemy of good thinking. I keep on hearing that from many people. Emotion doesn't matter. Nobody thinks about it. Nobody bothers about it. In this AI world, who cares to talk about it? And it is unfortunately fact. However, just if you want to get detail about it, you can go inside this, entire theory. It is a biological mechanism through which the body communicates its accumulated wisdom about what is good, safe, aligned, and right for the organism. The body's felt responses, the gut feeling, the tightening of chest, the lightness of genuine yes, are not irrational noise. It's not that we are something overthinking or something, just getting it. They are nervous system's fastest, most comprehensive assessment of alignment between a situation and the organism's deep needs and values. Ignoring them does not make us more rational in any way. It makes us systematically worse at knowing what is right for us. And this is the science behind every gut feeling you have ever overridden. Yes, every time your body say no and your mind said, but logically you were overriding the most sophisticated alignment assessment system your body possesses. Hence, alignment is not felt through thinking, it is felt through the body's somatic markers, through those quiet, precise, instantaneous signals that arise before the analytical mind can intervene. And I would say, I myself have gone through these experiences where my mind, probably said big no. Sorry, my body were giving the signal, and I was not able to probably accept or understand or paid attention to it. Learning to read those markers, learning to distinguish the body's genuine signal from anxiety or conditioning is the practical skill of living in alignment. The body has been trying to guide you toward alignment your entire life. Every tightening was a signal, every lightness was a signal. Every I don't know why, but something feels off was a big signal that we have avoided every time. And learning to listen to those signals and trust them is not mystical, it is neuroscience. With that, part three, values congruence. That is the neuroscience of living in alignment with who you are. And here is the final part, because alignment is not just about individual moments, it is about architecture of your entire life. So another research that is Dr. Stephen Hayes at the University of Nevada developed acceptance and commitment therapy, one of the most empirically validated therapeutic approaches in modern psychology around a central finding, that is, psychological well being is most reliably predicted not by the absence of negative emotion. However, by the degree to which a person is living in alignment with their clearly identified personal values. Does that make sense? Cannot be an absence of negative emotion. We can't say that, okay, you have all of this information, you know all of this, negative emotions won't touch you. However, the most important is to which a person is living in the alignment with their self values, with their clearly identified personal values. Hayes' research with thousands of participants across cultures demonstrated that when daily behavior is congruent with their core values, with these core values, I remember in my 6 week program, that is Discover My Core Values, this is one of the essential finding one can have. Literally, it was mind blowing when, you know, probably I got to learn about this entire system, and that changed your entire perspective. That's why I say that I really love this part, that this research on uh, various, like thousands of participants from coming from a different cultures, demonstrated that when daily behavior is congruent with their core values, when people are consistently moving in directions that feel genuinely theirs, that is, anxiety, depression, and chronic emotional pain decrease dramatically, even without the circumstances of their life changing. So, when daily behavior contradicts your core values, even slightly, even with the best of rational justifications, the nervous system registers a sustained low grade alarm. And this is the biology of misalignment. That's why you will see that. Let us give a very simple example to understand or touch upon the core values. It's a very detailed learning, so probably it takes near to 2 to 3 hours to get through this entire finding of what are your core values. However, just to understand, have you ever realized that, say, in a group of 10 people, 10 friends, or say family of 2 3, where collectively we have around, say, 10 members, you will see one person will connect more better with ABC. However, there will be some challenges to align with the rest. The biggest reason of all of this is the core values that we all carry. And we all have our unique core values. And when that is not aligned, that means even if we force, you cannot go to the direction which probably is good for you, but that the other person will never understand. And that's where that connectedness, or that uh, synchronicity between both of you, like probably feeling that calmness to talk with them, will never happen. That's the main reason. That is the core values. That's why it is very essential for us to know what are our core values, and based on that we actually are needed to take a lot of important steps for ourselves. And when we say about these, like when the core values, which is congruent living, that is alignment between who you are and how you live, is one of the most neurologically powerful well-being interventions available. It requires no external change. Requires only honesty about what is truly yours and the courage to live in that direction. So, a 2019 meta analysis published in Psychological Bulletin reviewing 79 studies across 40,000 participants confirmed that sense of coherence, the felt experience that one's life is comprehensible, manageable, and meaningful, is one of the strongest predictors of physical and mental health outcome across cultures, age groups, and life circumstances. An individual with high sense of coherence showed significantly better immune function, lower inflammatory markers, faster recovery from illness, lower rates of anxiety and depression, and higher reported life satisfaction. So, again, you would have seen around that there are certain people who never gets well from the illness. What I mean here is that if they fall sick, either they fall frequently sick or recovery becomes very slow. There has been point in time in my life where there were situations where I, probably in my early 20s and so, I suddenly fallen sick. I used to fall sick often. And we sometimes say that this is probably this allergy or that and this and that. However, there are many, reasons that we just talked about right now. So, coherence alignment between inner experience and outer expression is not a luxury. It is a health resource and it is buildable, like I did for myself. And what all of this research is saying, from Pert to Damasio to Hayes to the coherence researchers, is the same thing. It's the same thing. Your body, your mind, your emotions are not three separate systems that happen to coexist. They are not. They are one integrated system that is constantly seeking coherence, constantly orienting towards alignment, constantly sending you signals when it doesn't find it. The work of emotional intelligence is learning to hear those signals, to trust them, to use them as a compass they were designed to be. And that is what real alignment feels like, not perfect circumstances, not a life without difficulty, a life where you are not at war with yourself, because the external war is never going to end. It's always going to be there around. There will be conflicts, there will be problematic people around, there will be politics, a lot of things. And with this learning, let us go to the quick guided experience. Okay, so today's practice is different from everything we have done before. I'm not going to explain alignment to you. I'm going to help you to feel it right now in your body in real time. Okay? So find a comfortable space that feels completely supported. Have your back support, both feet on the floor, spine gently long, that is erect, hands resting open in your lap, not collapsed, open. They're like this. This is always said it's an open position, receiving mode. Eyes closed if that feels safe to you. So, are we ready with this? Okay, so here we begin. Phase one. So, I will tell you before guiding this to it that I'm going to explain you also with this process. So, you might have to come back to this steps again to write it down based on your comfort and then redo it, because this is something you also have to learn how we need to take it up. You might have to write certain things and all that. Okay, so the phase 1 is bring your attention out of your head and into your heart. So how do we do that? You place your right hand on the center of the chest, gently, not performatively, just resting there. Now bring your attention to the space beneath your hand, not thinking about your heart, just feeling toward it, as if your awareness itself is moving downward from your head and settling into your chest. Breathe slowly during that. So you try that awareness to gently move downward from your head and settle into your chest. Breathe slowly, and with each breath, feel your hand rise and fall slightly, like this. Feel your hand rise and fall slightly. Stay here in this one place. Your mind will want to move. It's okay. Gently return it each time to the space beneath your hand. You are not doing anything. You are arriving. Again, gently come back to the space beneath your hand. You are arriving just here. With that, phase 2. Breathe as if the breath moves through your heart, not your lungs. Now begin to breathe as if the air enters and leaves through the space in your chest, through your heart center. So here the breath count is little rhythmic. So we are going to count for 5 and out for 5. There is no longer exhale. So you have to breathe in for 5, then out, exhale for 5. This is the heart math coherence breath, the specific rhythm that produces the sine wave heart rate pattern associated with the alignment. So you're not imagining this. You're creating a measurable physiological shift in your body right now. Keep breathing. 5 in, 5 out. Feel the rhythm settling. If thoughts come, let them pass through. Return to the breath. 5 in, 5 out. Thoughts won't stop. It would come. It will keep coming. But we have to return to breath. Just remember that. 5 in, 5 out. With that, phase 3, feed the coherence with a real felt memory. So while maintaining the heart rhythm, bring to mind a genuine memory of feeling at peace, not happiness necessarily, not a success. It's just authentic peace. A moment, however brief it is, when you felt okay in your own skin, with a person, in a place, doing something, anything. Let the memory be as sensory as possible. The light, the temperature, the sounds. Feel what your body felt in that moment, not performance. Genuine recall of a genuine felt experience. Amazing, right? You are there. And this is the final piece of the heart math protocol. You are now creating coherence simultaneously through breath, rhythm, heart focus, and genuine positive emotion. Three layers, isn't it? However, one direction. This right now is alignment, my dear friend. Notice what it feels like. With that, phase four. Learn what alignment feels like as a physical reference point. It's the somatic marker check. So, when you're doing the phase one, two, and three, your eyes are closed. And in the phase four, before you open your eyes, scan your body slowly. Notice what is different from when we started. Is there more space in your chest? Has your jaw softened a bit? Has your breathing changed? Does the quality of your awareness feel different? Whatever you notice, fix it, memorize it. Because this specific physical experience you are in right now is your body's signature of alignment, your personal somatic marker of coherence. Every time you feel this, you're aligned. Every time you're missing this, you have drifted, and now you always know the difference, not just conceptually, but in your body. Take a moment before you speak or move. Stay in this for just one more breath. What you just experienced, that is alignment. That is what it feels like when your mind, body, and emotions are not fighting with each other. You can create that anytime, anywhere, in just 2 minutes. And now you will always know where you have drifted from it because you know what it feels like to be in it, right? So, with that, again, come back. You can again revisit and do the practice with proper understanding because now you would have understood by attending this. You have to practice it now. So, while doing this, just would like to know one word from what you felt during that practice. Just one, and anything. Put it in the comment section. Thank you so much. So, with that, what just happened in the last few minutes, that felt experience of coherence, is something most people go their entire lives without deliberating creating, without deliberately creating it. They feel it accidentally in rare moments, and then it passes and they don't know how to find it again. Today, you now know how to find it on purpose in your body in just 2 minutes. And that changes something. Because once you know what alignment feels like, genuinely, physically, in your nervous system, you also know with the clarity you cannot argue with how much of your current life is not in it. And that is not a comfortable realization, it is a true one. And true is where real change begins. The heart math practice I gave you today is real. Do it every day and it will change your baseline. Here also is the research that tells us creating moments of alignment is not the same as building a life that is structurally aligned. A 2 minute coherence practice does not resolve the relationship, the decisions, the career paths, the identity wounds, the nervous system pattern that are pulling you out of alignment every other minute of the day. No, it cannot. Dr. Perth spent years understanding the science of alignment before she could live it. Because understanding it and embodying it are two completely different things. Embodying it is living in alignment as a baseline rather than as an occasional experience. And this requires working through every layer one by one: mind, body, emotion, energy, and with someone who knows how to work at all of them simultaneously. Hence, we do need this support. And again, if anybody feels there is something you need more, I would like to say we have our one on one program designed specifically to work with at the cognitive layer, understanding your patterns, your history, your identity architecture. We work at the body layer, your nervous system, your somatic markers, your stored emotional responses, and we work at the energy layer, that is pranic healing, Reiki, crystal, what psychology alone cannot touch. We already spoke about that. And also, every individual is unique, and every individual experiences and way to handle those experiences are also going to be unique. One person handling certain scenario or moments can be different than the other person, and that is absolutely okay. You don't have to consider it as a flaw. So what we want to do is to make alignment your default, your lived experience, your home. And if you feel there is something that you would like to connect and talk about in detail, you know where to find me. You just have to go through the description where the link is provided. Connect over me with this link. We can talk. It will be a safe space, and the discussions, the information you would be sharing is a safe space to share. So tomorrow, day 30, the final session of this entire journey. I've been seeing the most important thing for, you know, I would like to share that the most important thing for last. I have been saving that for. Show up, please. You have come 29 days. The last one matters the most. Carry that feeling home with you today. That is what your life is supposed to feel like. All of it, not just in 2 minute glimpses. With that, thank you so much for being here. We'll connect tomorrow again. Bye for now.